What if I told you that Scooby-Doo is a dog? Mind-blowing information. But what if I tell you that throughout every Scooby-Doo show and movie, Scooby wasn't always just a Great Dane, or even a dog. Sometimes he's an interdimensional being, an alien, a shapeshifter, or even pure evil. In today's video, I'll figure out what Scooby is in each incarnation of his character. So let's go full conspiracy theory mode and figure this out.
This dog!
Wrong? Where?
Scooby-Doo as a franchise has had a lot of different dogs, from Scooby's cousins and relatives to the man and dog himself. Scooby's design was born from the creative mind of Iwan Takamoto, one of, if not the best artists at Hanna-Barbera at this time, to create a mascot dog that sort of resembles the Jetsons' canine companion, and he created a very unique stylized dog that resembled a Great Dane, but it was so uniquely drawn that it doesn't fully resemble any breed of dog in real life. Because of this unique design and the fact that he talks a little bit in the original series makes you think. So let's begin our crazy conspiracy with Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?
Delight and fright, shiver and shake, quiver and quake. Watch Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?
It's pretty obvious in Scooby-Doo, Where Are You, the new Scooby-Doo movies, and the Scooby-Doo show that Scooby-Doo is a Great Dane resembling dog that can somehow talk, and can also talk to other dogs too, which comes in handy whenever the gang needs help or more information.
Hey, Scooby, see if any of your pals know anything about that witch doctor or the dog napper.
Okay.
But Scooby's English isn't perfect because he mostly begins any word with an R, but most people understand him perfectly. And he can also walk on his hind legs, fake illness, but not to the extent that he will later. And he doesn't really show a personality besides, well, he's scared of ghosts. But trust me, as we continue to the newer series, Scooby will gain a personality and become way more than just a dog.
Yeah, clues.
Once the 80s rolled around, Scooby solved less and less mysteries as the gang left for Scrappy to join, and we start to commonly see that there are some weird scenes in episodes of the Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo show, and the other that follow, where Scooby transforms into random and weird things. And not just him, Shaggy and Scrappy too, and communicates a lot more due to the lack of the other characters in these shorts. On top of that, for some reason, I guess because of the lack of the rest of the gang, Scooby is walking on his hind legs all the time and acts way more human, but it's mostly just for gags and one-offs, like with the live action movies, but these don't fully count because he doesn't permanently change for a long time, so technically Scooby is still just a dog in these shows.
Third level, lots of luck.
Like what did you say, Scoop?
Once the 90s roll around, we see Scooby and the gang as kids in a pup named Scooby-Doo, in which Scooby is a puppy and can talk a lot more, being really addicted to Scooby snacks and occasionally fights with his best friend Shaggy. Scooby gains a lot more personality here, but it's still not a lot. He's still just a dog.
Roast. Roast. Scary roast.
A fun gag during the show is how the gang and especially Scooby react and explain the villain, in which they transform into whatever villain of the episode to show the rest of the gang. Or when the gang get attacked by a monster, they very cartoonishly react to the monster. But Scooby is just a puppy in this one. During this time, we saw a small break for Scooby content, but once the late 90s and early 2000s rolled around, we got the golden era of Scooby movies with the Mook animated Scooby movies, where the animation studio Mook made these movies with a Japanese style of American animation. These beloved movies have one thing in common: the dog. Scooby acts a little different in these, especially in Alien Invaders, in which him and Shaggy fall in love with real aliens that look like a human and a dog. And throughout these movies, Scooby always had something to say when he was called a dog.
Wrong? Where?
My theory here is that Scooby isn't a dog during these Mook animated movies. He is indeed something else, but we can't fully confirm, but there are clues.
Aliens?
You understand it?
Clear as crystal.
Overall, I'm counting most of these series as separate incarnations, because depending on what Scooby is in each one, that will separate these timelines. So it's not like one of those timeline videos for Scooby-Doo. For What's New Scooby-Doo and the movies around it, Scooby is just a dog once more, but there's one time where he turns into a monster for Scooby-Doo and the Goblin King, and other strange scenes in the show, but he's just a talking dog. For the Scooby-Doo live action movies, all of them in general, we have the second one, Scooby-Doo Monsters Unleashed, where Scooby and Shaggy drink a bunch of weird experiment beverages and transform into a bunch of things, with Super Bus Shaggy, Einstein Scooby, Tasmanian Scooby, and a bunch more in a hilarious scene. Does this count for anything? Maybe, but Scooby in every live action one, even the Cartoon Network ones, is still a dog, even though he talks. Once we get the new style of animation for the Scooby movies, we get to see a bunch more of Scooby-Doo every year. But most of these movies don't really add anything crazy for Scooby-Doo, except some continuity with Big Top Scooby-Doo and Scooby-Doo's birth certificate being shown in Scooby-Doo and the Phanosaur. Big Top Scooby-Doo has Scooby-Doo transforming into a human, but it's in a dream sequence. So I don't really know what to say about this.
Relax, I was just asking.
And for Shaggy and Scooby-Doo get a clue, yeah, Scooby's just a dog in this one too. But there is one thing unique about Scooby and Shaggy Scooby-Doo get a clue: the Scooby snacks. Yeah, that's right, Scooby has these unique Scooby snacks that give him special abilities like invisibility, strength, this and that, to help fight off whatever villain they're facing. And he's still just a dog with superpowers on hand. But where things really get crazy is in the 2010 Scooby-Doo series, Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. Sure, I ranked all the villains for this series, but it's not just the fact that there's an overlapping story in this series. In this 52 episode show, Scooby-Doo is an Anunnaki, which is an interdimensional being, or if you just want to be simple, call it an alien, that take the form of an animal, in this case a dog, in which they can talk and communicate with humans.
Of the Anunnaki. Interdimensional beings that visit the planet Earth every few thousand years have a great history of helping humans. But we have no physical form and must inhabit animals.
And our main villain of Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated is a evil Anunnaki, which is the Curse of Crystal Cove, and its minions, which are these wolf-like humanoid creatures that also attack in the last episode of the series. Scooby-Doo is an Anunnaki, and he's like super ancient and all that, and there is some continuity for him being that throughout the whole entire series. But I won't confirm or deny that theory because we're kind of just separating all these series in this video. But if you want to think he's just an alien in every series, then just think that. In Be Cool Scooby-Doo, we get new animation and a way more comedic centered approach to mystery solving, with Scooby-Doo gaining a sort of goofy and just stupid personality, which will later evolve into a sassy personality like how Velma was in Mystery Incorporated. But this whole series is just an insane fever dream of just comedic randomness and a little bit of mystery solving. So it's just whatever.
The right road.
No, I said that Daphne was right. I said left.
Like, so you were wrong?
Right?
Wrong. She was right.
She's either right or wrong, because what's left?
Scooby is downright a human in these series. He talks so much more than ever before, has a lot of sass to him, but mostly still just a dog. But I would want to say more of like, at this point, a human. I don't know. In the modern incarnations of Scooby-Doo, we don't get much more besides Scooby's insane personality, which I just mentioned.
Hey, ghouls! Don't forget about me and Scooby-Doo!
Yeah, this whole franchise is named after me. More powerful than a locomotive? Vulnerable to kryptonite?
But there is one little history tidbit for Scooby fans. In the movie Scoob from 2020, we realize that Shaggy and Scooby are relatives of Cerberus and Cerberus's master from Greece. Shaggy locks himself inside the underworld and to save Scooby, and a bunch of stuff happens. Scoob is a completely separate origin for Scooby-Doo, and we see Scooby as a puppy in this movie, so Scooby is obviously a dog. Now, what about evil Scooby? Well, in a Scooby-Doo Valentine from What's New Scooby-Doo, we see evil Scooby. but it's actually just NSYNC's JC Chazé as a furry. Now, what if there was an evil Scooby? What if, here's my underlying theory, in Scooby-Doo Where Are You?, the first series of Scooby-Doo, Scooby is the actual villain. Now, what backs up my theory? Well, in multiple different scenes in Scooby-Doo Where Are You?, Scooby acts a lot very clueless at times. Now, there's one thing I want to point out. In the 4th episode of Scooby-Doo Where Are You?, Mind Your Own Business, we have one scene, one frame, where Scooby looks at the camera, and this backs up absolutely nothing. Am I wrong? Scooby looks straight at the camera, so like, I don't know. Anyway, in the last few Scooby-Doo movies, we find out that Scooby-Doo and Courage have a certain ability where they can hear a certain frequency that only these certain dogs can hear, or something that has to do with the villain of the movie. Don't really fully remember what that is, but anyway, what have we learned today? Scooby is a dog in 90% of everything Scooby-Doo. Besides Mystery Incorporated and the Mook animated movies, I think Scooby might just be a dog, but you never know. Anyways, that's just a theory, a Scooby theory, and thanks for watching.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo!
Consider subscribing to join this cartoon community, and that will be it for today's strange video. You probably have learned nothing, and I have learned even less, so thank you for wasting your time.